Alright, hey, hi, hello. How's it going, guys? My name is ZetaRayZod, and welcome back to one of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Now, before I begin, be sure to like, subscribe, and get that bell on to stay up to date on all my latest videos. So, last we left off, we came into the pawn shop to get Sherlock Sholmes' violin back, and we did, but we bumped into a familiar face, which is Gina Lestrade. She was from the previous case with Mr. McGilded. And she came in trying to cash in something, but this guy came in as well, and he said that the code belongs to him. So now we're trying to figure out like who it actually belongs to. I mean, he has like all the necessary documentation and like the safe words and whatnot to kind of like pass it off as his own, but it's kind of a bit sus. They're both sus, so we're gonna reach out to Sherlock Sholmes and see if he can help us. So, Mr. Sholmes, what are you examining such keen interest there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see. So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows, cruelly ostracized as the rest of you partook in jovial atmosphere of fellowship. There's nothing jovial about this, bro. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place. Whilst, as you shrewdly observed, Sholmes' caramel, what the frick? He has his own chocolate bar? Gnawing on the only friend I have left, the 7% solution of caramel. Pray, do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruhodo? But how could you? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. Then why on earth didn't you rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Yes, I overheard much of your conversation. Or rather, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? Poor Mr. Sholmes, I feel simply awful for you. It would seem that my inferences are correct. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you've solved the entire case once again? My dear madam, sometimes I wonder, were my genius for deduction to be commoditized, how much could I pawn it for? Okay, it seems Mr. Sholmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration. Right, but we know from experience his deductions are not completely accurate, so. But who knows if it will help to resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Let's just listen to it, why not? I mean, he has like 80% of it right. We just need to help him along the way, so why not, right? Well, Miss Lestrade, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament. Where the blue blazes have you been, Pardon? When a lady's in trouble, a true jet's supposed to be there out straight away, not an hour later. Harsh. Dramatic as always. And who, pray tell, are you? Mr. Edgar Benedict. You have, in my eyes, a veritably encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon? The first is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawnbroker today is something you have not yet revealed. Kokuri. And the second is this. A considerable crime is in contemplation, one you will orchestrate with intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mrs. Benedict, what say you to my deductions? How? He's turned as white as a hard-boiled egg. It would seem that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction. Just who do you think you are, sir? Just who do you think you are? Ah yes, as I hoped. That is precisely the pain expression I was looking for. So he is a bad guy. I kinda had a feeling, you know. So, shall we begin? The time has come for yet another Sherlock Sholmes, logic and reasoning, spectacular. Here we go again. Phew. He's almost always right. I mean, no, he's almost right. There we go. He's not almost always. He's almost right. Mystery man's aim. First of all, we must ask ourselves, with what business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today? You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. Oh my god, that's so wrong, dude. The piece of paper in your hand is a staff wanted advertisement for this very shop. Yet even the most unobservant would soon realize that a man of your appearance has no need of such a ploy. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. Threw it away. The cane, which you unwittingly clutched to your person, exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, missing ferrule. I'm guessing it's like the rubber thing at the bottom? Yeah. The end of any walking cane would be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. And yet, detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of the stick to be utterly bare. Therefore, there's only one conclusion. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. What is it? It's a sword? You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused, okay? What walking cane demands such a stout handle? Mused I. But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod... What is it? It's the broken handle of a shovel. What? Are you insane? It's a shovel! And now, having determined the undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. Boy. What a calculated crime you conceive, sir, and a wickedly calculated crime. This is pretty far off, actually. The tunnel underneath the pawnbrokery. No. The great crime. Is there a bank nearby? Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have been planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I could expect to find there? Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose? Save for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason can I have to do as you say? Oh, but there is ample reason. Oh, my eye. What's going on? Oh! As you're only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Oh, my eye! What's going on? I gotta rub it. Let's consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and covertly dig beneath its floor. The answer is revealed by the council notice on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. You sure he's not looking at the gun? He could be looking at the gun. Oh man, I think something flew in my eye or something. This letter gives notice of public works to be carried out in a local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewerage works, beneath this shop runs a sewer that adjoins another, one that runs under the bank on the opposite side of the road. This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? by excavating the ground beneath your feet, you would gain access to the waterway that flows in very close proximity to the Great Vault of the financial institution opposite. What are you? In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of the underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. With what plunder did the thief hope to make off from the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? If that's even your real name. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, he's probably wrong, lady. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. A postcard of the Great Exhibition? I'm afraid you've quite lost me. Currently in the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway. And the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank, on the other side of this road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime you have been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of that bank, the special reserve funds for the Great Exhibition. Sholmes, how would he know about that? You just said it yourself, like the Scotland Yard told you. Unless he has a mole or something, maybe, but like, I don't think it's likely. Of course, that is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. You just shared it. See, he just contradicted himself. It's top secret police information. So how would this guy have known? I mean, he looks like a rich dude, but whatever, right? I don't think that's the case. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this pawnbroking puzzle. Wrong. Mr. Sholmes. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? An impressive, upbeat deduction for a detective racked with loneliness, would you not agree? Was it true what you said about the bank over the road and what it has in its vault? Indeed, though few know of its existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me, in the strictest confidence. And you just told all of us. But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly in fact. Ah. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There can be but one explanation for that. Clearly, it is because the man is a criminal. But what if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he is a criminal, as you said, then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you've revealed the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windybeck will. Heard he has plenty of shovels here, after all. Oh my life, I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. After sharing said sensitive information, though, one can never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them, and once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes. An excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. Excellent idea. Jesus. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yeah, let's listen to the great deduction again and see if we can massage it into shape. Yeah. Very well then, let's start once more from the beginning. Of Sherlock Sholmes, magnificent, logic and reasoning, spectacular. Again, Sholmes, since there's an S at the end of Sholmes, there shouldn't be an apostrophe followed by another S. Just pointing out, grammar Nazi. You're supposed to leave an apostrophe there and that's it. First of all, we must ask ourselves, what business you venture this pawnbrokery to? Okay, let's just keep going. Having had the redemption ticket stolen from you in the street. Most certainly a lie. Real truth is something quite different. Yep. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place is the Stafford flyer. Fake news! That's not it. So by Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job so he could dig down through the floor.
Yeah, in an attempt to tunnel to the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault at the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he?
No, I don't think it's fair to say his motives lie... I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. The question is, where? What did bring Mr. Benedict here at this particular point in time? Ah, scribbled writing. Is that right? Those notes were scrawled by somebody famous, and as such are worth a considerable sum of money. Oh my god. The fact that you handled the paper in which they're written with gloves only proves my theory. So you came here today with the intention of pawning it for as much as the broker would give you. That's wrong. What precisely was the intention of that, Mr. Naruhodo? Just following the natural progression of deduction. Sometimes the truth hurts. Well, the truth is you do not have a turn for observation or deduction. Did that hurt? Yes, a lot. Damn it. Okay, what was it? I still don't quite understand why this gentleman came to Mr. Winterbanks today. He might look like a smartly dressed man, but perhaps he's destitute daily. I suppose you're right. Well, in that case, perhaps there's something in this pawn shop that the man was looking for. Let's look closely to see if there's anything about this person that gives us a clue. You know what? In hindsight, I could have just like examined it first. I'm so dumb.
Oh, look at all the scribbled notes on the back of the flyer here.
I don't believe it.
What is it?
Listen to what it says. Name Gina Lestrade, height 5'2", green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness, she even a sketch of her, hat and all. Although if we showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure.
And look, the details of the shop have been written down here too. Winterbank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street. Redemption deadline 15 April.
Which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have all that information scrawled on the back of that piece of paper? Okay. It's gotta be that, right? Maybe I just didn't look at it properly. That's gotta be it. Yeah, I just need to examine it first. I'm so dumb. Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It appeared that the writing and sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade and to Mr. Winterbank's pawnbroker here. Ah. You originally told us that you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Winterbank's pawnbrokery, and today, the redemption deadline of that overcoat. So, you waited outside for the young girl matching the description you have written down to arrive. And you have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane, which you unwittingly clutched to your person, exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. Okay. Here we go again. Contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. Alright. What's a ferrule?
It's a metal cap commonly found on the end of a cane, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ah, the bit that makes a nice clacking sound on the pavement?
Yeah, exactly. And Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing in this cane.
But it doesn't actually look broken, does it?
No, it doesn't. Though the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious.
In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we don't know. What did I miss? Wait, what? Is it the stylish hat? As stylish it is, no doubt, as it no doubt is. I don't think this white top hat suits the man, do you?
No, not at all.
The more I look at it, the more something strikes me as suspicious about it.
I think perhaps it's not so much that it strikes you suspicious, rather that the hat is just striking.
I suppose you're probably right. Perhaps the hat isn't what we're looking for. Okay, well, they kind of tell you. Missing for rule? I don't think it's missing for rule. The end of this key is just bare wood.
Yeah, and according to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, this is where the shovel blade would have been attached.
Can it just be that the tip fell off?
Sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I can't possibly speculate.
It's gotta be the tip, right? The controls are so... There we go. It's what? Oh, initialing. Look here, Mrs. Sato. There's some letters on the handle.
Oh yeah, there must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letters of their name.
So her luck shows to be HS, you mean?
That's right. And the initial in this case, obviously.
Oh. AG? Why does it feel as though that's not quite right? That's gotta be it. Yep. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the initialing. A most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Eggard Benedict? We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are EP. Yet, in a most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials AG. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No, you're wrong. This cane isn't... You said before that you had that cane for years. Ugh. So don't try to tell us that you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. Oh, what's his true name? AG. Recoil, sir. Something wrong? I will lie. And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Okay, what's next? Namely, what is the truth behind this Roddy bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. Yep, go on. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle. Okay. Let's consider this bare bones of what's happened here. Miss Lestrade redeemed that fine-looking overcoat. And now a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name, and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. But we know that he actually identified Miss Lestrade from written description, which suggests that everything else he told us is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. Okay. Let's look at the overcoat then. Ah, tear.
Oh, the seam on the shoulder there is coming apart. Look.
So it is.
Do you know, a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised by something that was said, I thought I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl. Now I think it was probably the sound of the seam ripping open.
If you look closely, it does seem to be very tight fit. The seams are stretched to bursting, and you wouldn't have a hope of fastening it at the front. If you were to run around in it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart.
That I'd like to see.
Sorry?
So how can we make Mr. Benedict run around?
She's really giving this some thought. Run around! Stick out Susato takedown. It's gotta be the split seam, right? The split seam, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle. Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so baldly lied about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket. This catalog of untruths has all been for one very specific purpose. To steal the article that the young lady redeemed from Mr. Benedict. Why though? But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed. It's not a bank job. It's just a small little one. It's gone to a redeemed item. He seems like a rich-looking dude. Why would he steal this? There we go. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, design a wheeze to filch some tawdry article of pawnage? Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner using the watchword? Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place, how could I possibly have known the relevant details? N'est-ce pas? Oh, but the watchword can be discovered. As you're only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let's consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword. Okay. Related to the pawn property of another. Methods revealed by the council notice on the counter. No, it's not. It's the ledger. He's looking at the ledger.
Direction of the deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think.
Yeah, no more talking of tunneling the sewers. Which is a pity, because it all sounded rather exciting. Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman didn't know the watchword.
Yeah, Professor. If you didn't know that word, Mr. Windybank would never allow you to redeem the article.
Or, looking at it another way, if you did know that word, Mr. Windybank would allow you to redeem the article whether it was yours or not. So the question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? It's in the ledger! Can I look at the ledger? It's not the council notice. Notelet. Is it the notelet? Look at this, Mrs. Otto.
Oh, appears to be a memo that Mr. Windybank scribbled himself.
Let's see. What does it say? Oh, Professor. What are the odds of that, though? Mr. Windybank must make a note of the watchwords his customers give him right before their eyes. And in alarmingly clear script as well.
Oh dear. I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see?
Okay, it's gotta be the notelet then. I thought it's the ledger. How do you know like which passcode is which passcode if it just writes it down randomly? The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure. Whenever a customer comes to redeem an article, he asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response uttered on the notelet he has to hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker, but his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. What are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you were present in this shop before your accusation against Miss Lestrade. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Windybank. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword, as is his common practice, you observed him writing the word professor on the notelet beside the ledger. Why would you do that? That's extra work. If it's in your ledger, just read it from there. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawn article from the young Miss Lestrade. Master plan? Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article from this pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitted overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less the worthless music box this. But naturally, you had very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. I don't get it. After we exposed the first part, why would he still stick by his guns and like go with all this nonsense? Talking about Sholmes, by the way. The article we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box disc that was in one of the pockets.
Which according to Mr. Windybank isn't even worth a penny.
And yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why?
I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Naruto.
Could we? Really? But have a thorough look through all the evidence we've collected so far. 2. We just got 2. Ah. 4. McGilded. What?
Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck on the reverse side of the disc, look! And a scribbled word or two. It looks like somebody's name.
For McGilded. McGilded? Couldn't be. Masaka! Masaka! But it is Mr. Naruto.
A name I shall never forget for as long as I live.
Why? Why is his name on this? Music box disc information. Oh, this guy related to Did this guy kill McGilded? Oh no, I'm reading it again. God damn it. No. Starting the man who's scared. Yeah. Oh shit. This guy. I think this guy killed McGilded. Because if we remember in the previous episode, episode 3, McGilded was declared innocent, but he died because he was like stuck in the carriage that was caught on fire or something. I think this guy did something. Would he though? I mean, it seems likely. You see, this music box just tells us all we need to know. What's that on the back? What's that on the back? It reads for McGilded. Oh. Chubby Char. Ah, Mr. Magnus McGilded, the unfortunate philanthropist who perished in curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. Prominent man in London, though his loan mongering demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. Tabby Char. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGilded was a man of unusually small stature. In fact, he was precisely the right size for that overcoat that you squeezed yourself into. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Edgar Benedict. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. We did it. Oh wow, I didn't expect McGilded to come back so soon. I mean, we kind of did. Kind of expect us to solve his murder eventually, but like, I wasn't, because it's this Hounds of Baskerville. I wasn't expecting, you know, this to happen in this episode. Well, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expect to hear in these circumstances.
Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind.
Pray tell, Mrs. Sato.
Well, according to what Mr. Winbank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Well, today is 15th April, so 2 months ago today would have been 15th February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see. What? But that suggests...
Yes, it's 15th February.
It's precisely the day in which the omnibus murder took place.
And 10:30 in the evening. It's precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding.
Ooh, suspicious. Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence.
Edgar, what you gotta say for yourself, bro?
You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However... Oh, whoa! I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. What the frick? It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. What do I do? Ah! What do I do? Will he actually shoot me? Absolutely not. Ah! There's some things a man must protect at all costs. This may well be one of those things. Then again, it may not. Oh, he has a gun. Mr. Windybank. Mr. Windybank? This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. Aim your gun at him, bro. Mr. Windybank, no! Alright, that's enough. Ah, Gregson. Inspector Gregson! Inspector? That's right, sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines, so we got here as fast as we could. Now, what's all this about, huh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment. Put down the gun, Betty. There you go. Let's see if you have the upper hand. Oh, he aimed a gun at me. Attempted murder. Right, you lot have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy.
Penny, Mr. Winniebank very nearly met with his end.
Yeah, by his own gun as far as I can tell. Oh dear. And the whole of Britain can meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working out. What? What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no details, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter. It's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station. Yeah, he aimed a gun at me. Greggy, he aimed a gun at me. But of course, Inspector. Ah! He's getting away! Get after him, lads! Whistle the beat officer, too. Sir! He ran away. This is so suspicious. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say 100%. I'm like 70% sure that he's killed McGilded. It's been a spate of thefts at pawn shops around here recently. So we fit in emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried they were there for a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently Mourning. Oh. I look because I'm wearing black, huh? Yeah? I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yacht. Thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine. Sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. Capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Ah. Why is she so insistent that it's hers, though? And so, we handed Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and were summarily turfed out the shop and onto the street. Is it to be continued? Seems like a to be continued. There, it's to be continued. Okay. Great way to leave it off then. Interesting. That guy's suspicious. Why would he run from the cops? But then again, that's like a telltale sign that he's guilty. So I don't know. Seems like that's the case. So yeah. But yeah, I think I'll leave this episode here. Good way to end it off. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I'm not sure how Hounds of Baskerville is connected to this. I'm assuming it's a different variation of the original story. You know, so we'll find out more. Maybe that guy's the Hound. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the next episode. So if you like what you see and you like what you hear, be sure to like, subscribe, and get that bell on so you stay up to date on all my latest videos. As always, be safe, take care, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace!